about Crowdhelix. Thank you for all being here today. I am George Kalinis from the Proposal Submissions Office, which will be the support service for the new platform. And these are my colleagues, Iliana Bousiaki, Iraklia Karagianniou,
hello,
and Evangelia Fotou. Our Vice Rector of Research and Lifelong Learning, Professor Efstratios Stylianidis, who is the driving force behind this new cooperation with Crowdhelix, is here with us. Good morning, Mr. Stylianidis, and thank you for being here. We are also very happy to have with us Mr. Kais Jurgens, who will demonstrate the uses of the new platform and inform us about all the advantages it has to offer. Aristotelio University and Special Account for Research Funds have always strived for new ways of supporting our researchers and their research. With no further delay, Vice Rector Efstratios Stylianidis would like to say a few words about Crowdhelix. Mr. Stylianidis.
Good morning, and very quickly, so as to dive through Crowdhelix, I would like to welcome you all here today in this online meeting with our new partners from Crowdhelix. So they are here this morning to show new ways on how we can move on with new collaborations. We have established in this framework, and how you will be able to open new paths for all of you in terms of connection with businesses, research centers, and other universities, so as to have more opportunities in developing your ideas into funding proposals. So it's a great pleasure to inform you that our university is now part of this platform, and we have officially registered to Crowdhelix virtual platform. And you know, with the Crowdhelix platform, you will be able to open up 2 words of expertise. So in the framework of our consistent effort for bringing our university innovative channels and new incentives, we invest in strategic corporations like this one we are presenting today with Crowdhelix, which is a global network of researchers giving us the opportunity to communicate and cooperate within an easy-to-use platform that offers a dynamic environment for networking and, of course, for extroversion. I would like to call you so as to take all the advantages. Our officers from the research committee will be there to support you. This is a message to our community, and I'm sure that we will exploit all the benefits and all the networks that are provided by Crowdhelix, and I would like to thank you for that. I'm confident that this tool will provide new opportunities and new channels to our human resource capital in the Aristotelio University of Thessaloniki. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stylianidis. And now it's time for Mr. Jurgens to begin with his presentation. There will be time for questions after the presentation, but you can also write your questions in the chat so we can gather them and address them after the presentation. Mr. Jurgens.
Thank you so much for the very warm introduction and for welcoming me this morning. It's my pleasure to present this platform to you. Before we get started, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Kais Jurgens. I'm the Network Development Lead for Crowdhelix. I'm based at the London office in the UK. For your information, Crowdhelix is based here, obviously in London. Our other office is in Ireland, near University College Cork. This is our project management and proposal development office for when we become involved in proposals. And I will be your account manager, and we are administrating the network of Crowdhelix members from here in the UK. The purpose of this session is to provide you essentially with a training on how to use the Crowdhelix platform to your benefit. This platform is open to an unlimited number of users from your institution, as long as you are signing in with your university email domain. I'm going to share my screen and take you through the platform piece by piece. So what are the communities that we call helixes? How do you profile yourself as an individual researcher and your expertise and use the platform as a way to engage and network and build connective, collaborative partnerships? How does a strong institutional profile look? How can you profile faculties and departments and laboratories as well to sort of administrate themselves? And what kind of events do we have coming up? In addition to this platform, which is the main pillar of how we work with you, we also have other services we provide. For example, I am your account manager. It is my job to work with you to establish KPIs we would like to achieve over the coming year. KPIs such as the number of proposals we would like you to be involved in, the number ultimately submitted and hopefully at the end of the year funded. We want to show success and feature your institution on our success and outcomes page, hopefully more than once or twice by the end of 12 months. And then finally, the third way we facilitate collaboration is through events that we hold. We've just had 3 events in January. So our events team is hard at work planning the next set of events for the next few months. So stay tuned for those as well. I'm going to share my screen and I will take you through the platform. This platform is open to all of you right now. There's nothing stopping you from signing in. All you have to do is use your university's email domain and get started. Come to crowdhelix.com/register. You will find your institution in the drop-down menu here, alphabetical order, of course. Create a password and then sign in. We send you a quick confirmation link, click that, and then you are good to go. This portion of the presentation typically takes about 30 minutes. Afterwards, if you are feeling brave, unmute your microphone and feel free to ask me a question. Otherwise, you can put your questions into the chat and we can address them that way. So let's get started. Before we take a look at the opportunities, just some quick statistics here. So this morning, we have hit our 2000th opportunity for collaboration, the 2000th post that has been added to our platform. Opportunities are typically from academics, from researchers, from either universities or businesses who are posting on the platform, offering or seeking expertise of some kind. This is an open innovation platform. It's open to any tangible open opportunity to collaborate. You're probably aware that the EU's Horizon Europe program is currently the biggest pot of money of funding right now. The majority of the opportunities you will see here will be Horizon Europe focused, but this platform is open to any other type of collaborative partnership. 10,642 individual users are on the platform. We have 607 member organizations. These are universities, research centers, small and medium-sized enterprises, large businesses like multinational corporations, NGOs, policymakers, city governments, basically anybody involved in the European research area. And we are based in 57 countries. Excuse me. These are the most recent opportunities posted across all areas of interest, with one from just under 1 hour ago kicking off today's activity. And we will take a look at some of these opportunities in just a second. But first, it's important to show you the communities. Crowdhelix is broken down into more than 40 thematic communities that we call helixes. It's within these communities that individuals and organizations profile themselves, their expertise, and how they can participate in and contribute to usually European-funded projects. To provide you a little bit of context, some of these communities have a very broad area of scope, areas like health or energy or digital. These communities are massive and they have been around since this platform was first launched in 2016. They were designed to reflect the thematic challenges of what was the Horizon 2020 program. Now we're in Horizon Europe. This is why you see communities like Mission Cancer, Mission Climate, Mission Soil. There are 2 more mission communities in development, and you'll see these popping up in due course. And then finally, you'll notice some of the communities have a very narrow scope. Areas like Black Sea, for example, or aquaculture. These could fit under the umbrella of maritime and marine. Or we have liver health or vascular health. These could fit under the umbrella of health. The context here is that these more narrowly focused communities are probably stemming from a project that was funded by the European Commission's Horizon program. When we are invited, Crowdhelix sometimes joins a consortium as an impact acceleration partner, section 2.2, and we lead on work packages related to things like communications and dissemination, maybe some exploitation tasks as well. Our main role in the project, if it's funded, is to build a project-specific community, which we then populate with stakeholders focused on the impact needs of the project. Things like IP generation, market uptake, innovation acceleration, and maybe most importantly, facilitating future collaborative partnerships in that project's area of interest. And then the community remains live on the platform for even a couple of years after the funding runs out to continue to perpetuate the results and impact of the project, breed new projects for clustering, sister projects, things like this. We've had over 30 projects funded in this way in the last 3 years, which is why you see so many communities on the platform. Obviously, not everyone in the world is focused on more than 40 areas of interest. So for this reason, we can filter by communities that might be more relevant to us. For example, I've just selected materials. Materials might be cross-cutting with manufacturing in some way. Maybe it's cross-cutting with virtual reality. I've selected these 3 communities now, and we're going to take a look at the most recent opportunities posted in these areas. Filter. So now we see 2 at the top, and in this case, they are actually both from organizations who are looking to coordinate Horizon Europe opportunities. So this one from just yesterday is from the Technological University of the Shannon in Ireland, for example. Let's check it out. So in this case, they are posting about an EIC Pathfinder challenge. This is a link to the European portal to read about the call. The deadline for this particular proposal is the 7th of March, and it's an EIC Pathfinder challenge. They have posted in the Materials Helix community. This means that every single individual person across this platform who is subscribed to the Materials Helix has received a notification that the university is leading a proposal and they're looking for collaborators. And I'll show you how that works in a moment. This is the expertise that they are seeking. So 3D printing materials, for example, bio-based polymers, and they've gone into a little bit of detail about the consortium. In this case, they're seeking an SME, but that doesn't mean other partners wouldn't be welcome. They've left their email address so you can get in touch with them directly. This is just one example of a post. Now let's take a look at a different post. In this case, this one is from an SME, also from a coordinating organization. I would say about 30% of the posts are from organizations seeking partners for a proposal they are coordinating. And then the other 70%, the other side of the coin, maybe they are seeking collaborators like Antwerp here, or maybe they are offering their expertise, for example, like Sabanci University here. Let's just take a quick look at this post as well. Again, the anatomy of a post, a link to the European portal, the deadline. In this case, it's an innovation action. Lydia has posted in the digital, the manufacturing and circular industry Helix communities. They are seeking a consortium to join, but they are also willing to coordinate that proposal. And these, again, are the expertise tags that they have added to their post. And these tags are extremely important, and I will be talking about them constantly during my presentation. And I will tell you why. For example, digital twins is one of the tags that I see here. We can search the entire platform for posts with this as a tag or a keyword somewhere, organizations that have this as a tag on their organizational profile, and we'll take a look at that in a moment. Groups are faculties or departments or laboratories that have decided to profile themselves autonomously underneath the umbrella of a bigger organization. Gives them a little bit more visibility. I will show you how to create those in a moment as well. And then experts. These are the individual users like you on the platform. You also add expertise tags to your profile to make yourself more visible. These tags also feed into a machine learning algorithm that we've built into Crowdhelix. We call it the recommender engine. So when you post on the platform recommends to me, the moderator, the person that is doing the due diligence on your post before it goes live, it recommends to me the best possible 10 to 12 partners for you to work with. And I flag your expertise to them personally. At the same time, the notifications go out to every individual subscribed to these communities, but there is a technology, a machine learning working together with a kind of a personal touch behind the scenes to help build these collaborative partnerships. Again, they're looking to coordinate, to lead a work package, expertise they are seeking. They've gone into some more detail about themselves as an organization, the call topic that they are looking to address. In this case, again, Lydia has left her email address, but she mentions you can send her a direct message through the Crowdhelix platform, which can be done here. Send a message. These messages also go to your normal email address. The majority of the correspondence on Crowdhelix typically happens this way because people might want to keep their conversation confidential to a point. But if you would like, you can always leave a public comment, like our friend Barbara at the University of Greenwich. She has left a comment here about her willingness to collaborate. These comments are public to Crowdhelix members who have access to the platform. And that is the anatomy of a post on Crowdhelix. And I will show you how to post on the platform shortly. So say you are a researcher, you're coming here for the very first time, you're seeing all of this content. What do I do? Where do I get started? So once you've signed in to the platform, the first thing I would do is get my profile set up. In this drop-down menu here at the top right, you will find profile settings. This is my profile. So I have a picture of myself. You may add one if you would like. My LinkedIn, my job title, a short biography, most importantly, my expertise tags. So these are areas where I work at Crowdhelix: pre-award proposal development, the impact model, Horizon Europe, network development, bringing more institutions into Crowdhelix. Pop these keywords in here and they will feed into the machine learning and make you as an individual more visible across the platform. If you add nothing to your profile, except for this, that would be what I suggest. The rest is very important, but this is the most important part, these expertise tags. As an individual user, you also decide to which communities you are going to subscribe. Again, not everyone is focused on every single area of interest. So I do have an interest, for example, in heritage and culture. I have an interest in virtual reality. I am now subscribed to those communities. But maybe I have zero interest whatsoever in food. I don't care about digital. I don't want to see activity and content and notifications coming my way from these areas. We do not want to spam you with irrelevant information. Would you like to see opportunities posted in other topics? Maybe the ones you've unsubscribed from, but you'd still like maybe a weekly roundup of some kind. And the same goes here, posted in other topics. Would you like to see projects or posts pertaining to projects that are for future proposals to be submitted, existing projects in which you maybe might want to become a stakeholder, or do you want to see all projects? How often do you want to receive messages through the platform? If people are messaging you, we will collect those messages and we'll send them to you once an hour so that you're not being bombarded. Do you want to receive comments on your posts? And do you want to have your information included in the machine learning algorithm? This is all up to the individual user. Finally, connections. If you have an ORCID ID, you may connect that to Crowdhelix. This is a good way to populate your profile with content, and you can also use your ORCID ID to sign into the platform should you wish. Now we are on the platform. We've got our profile set up. Now what do we do? How do we start using this platform effectively? Well, the first thing we can do, as I showed you before, is filter by helix. I'm interested in digital. Maybe I'm also interested in cybersecurity. Maybe this in some way is cross-cutting with energy. Let's see what's been happening in these three communities as shown here. Maybe I'm not sure what I'm really looking for in terms of, these three communities specifically, but there are other ways that I can search. For example, I can search using keywords that I keep talking about. For example, digital is one I'm seeing here. I can search across the whole platform for posts with digital somehow as a tag or a keyword pertaining somewhere in the post. That's why we have these tags and keywords. Another thing I can do is search by specific call identifier code. If I know exactly a call that I want to participate in, for example, a cluster 4 call, who else has been posting about cluster 4? And now we're going to see those here. Maybe somebody has already posted about a call that you are looking to collaborate on, and you can now jump into a conversation that has already started, either through the comments or sending a direct private message. There's no point in adding your own post if somebody's already kickstarted a collaborative opportunity. But if you're not seeing what you want to see quite yet, and we're scrolling down here through all of the cluster 4 calls, well, then we would invite you to be the first person to add a post. And posting is simple. Here at the top right, we have a button called New Post. There are no rules about who can post on the platform, but we do moderate every single post added for quality control, so they do not go live immediately. We check the post for everything from spelling and grammar to ensuring that it's an open, tangible, relevant opportunity for collaboration that we would like to disseminate to the rest of the community. We want every post here to be quality and to be something that could potentially be engaged with, rather than something more suitable for social media, for example. When you post on the platform, you select your organization. Then you select to which communities you would like to reach out to. What does this opportunity pertain to? So for example, maybe mission climate, maybe this is cross-cutting with an area like mission soil, or maybe it's cross-cutting with energy. Maybe it has a digital element to it. Now, everybody who is subscribed to these three communities will receive a notification that you are looking to collaborate. Next, we add a title, and I'm just adding a very generic title here for the sake of it, but you can see me building the post on the right-hand side. Next, how do we want to act in our consortium? Do we want to be a coordinator like our friends at the University of Shannon in Ireland? Maybe we don't have the ability to coordinate right now, but we would like to lead a work package. Next, you add in these expertise tags that I keep talking about, these tags that match up across the entire platform to make your post more visible. We've selected a cluster 4 call here in the drop-down menu. If it's a Horizon opportunity, you can find them here. So Horizon CL4, and now we have a list. Based on the title of this call, we're going to add expertise tags. So for example, manufacturing. Maybe digital. I'm kind of selecting basic tags here, but you would tailor them to your post. There's also tags in this drop-down menu that you can select. Now these tags are going to feed into the machine learning algorithm of the platform and recommend partners during the moderation process. Next, you go into detail about the opportunity, about the consortium. What are you offering, or what are you seeking? Do you specifically need an SME to join your consortium that has an expertise in robotics, or are you a coordinator and you need to build a consortium from scratch, from the ground up around your needs? Go into detail here. Be as liberal as you can with the detail you share, but also be as specific as you can, because keywords from this text also feed into the machine learning. And the more specific and clear you are, the more likely we will be able to find you the right partners. And I'm just using some example text here. And then finally, visibility. Network means Crowdhelix members only. Your organization is part of Crowdhelix. Extended network would be your organization before you joined Crowdhelix. You are a higher education institute in Europe. We would consider you a trusted collaborator. You don't have access to the platform, but we could potentially share the opportunity with you. That way we can reach outside of the fishbowl of this network of 10,500 plus excellent researchers, but not yet everyone in the world. So we can share an opportunity from our platform. It allows them to access the platform in a very limited way, sort of like they can look, but they cannot touch. And that's one way that we could essentially bring in outside expertise to benefit a consortium of our members. And then hopefully they go on to join Crowdhelix in the future. Then public, this basically just means that we can disseminate the opportunity on social media like Twitter or LinkedIn. This is entirely at the discretion of the person posting on the platform. You submit, the post comes to us for moderation. We do our due diligence, and then depending on how many posts we've had that day, the post goes live on the platform like the ones that you are seeing here. And hopefully this kickstarts the collaboration journey. And here's one from just 1 hour ago, as I was saying, from in this case, from a small business. And that share opportunity button here, it's on every single post. So if you selected extended network, we could add the name and address of the person that we might want to share this to, and we can share it outside. If the person is already on the platform, well, then we can just find them here. My colleague Abdul, he's already on Crowdhelix, and I can share this post with him. We are smashing this button all day long at Crowdhelix. This is one of the ways that we make sure that your post is seen across the network. Next, let's take a quick look at an organization's profile, just for example. The University of Antwerp at the top of the alphabet here. This is a university's organizational profile. Anne is the head of the grants office. They've gone into some detail about themselves as an institution, maybe their track record, their ambitions. These are their expertise tags, which are feeding into the machine learning and making them more searchable across the platform. For example, smart cities. And then here on the right-hand side, we have groups. These are faculties, departments, laboratories who have decided to profile themselves autonomously under the umbrella of the bigger organization. So in this case, we have the Microbial Systems Technology Center at the University of Antwerp. It's led by this gentleman, Patrick, here. He is a PI within this center. They have their own logo. They have their own expertise tags. They can post as themselves, kind of raising their visibility across the platform, making themselves a little bit more famous. And you can add as many of these as you would like. I'm showing you this because it's an example of a good, complete profile that potentially your organization can use to also make your own profile look in a similar way to maximize your visibility. And at this time, I know this is being recorded, so this will look differently in the future. For the time being, your profile looks like this. You have just joined Crowdhelix very recently, so we're just getting started. This is your About section. The organization leader on your side, I would suggest going into the Manage Organization dashboard, adding those expertise tags here, adding the groups on the right-hand side, and really kicking things off. We're looking forward to seeing your first post on the platform shortly. And for those of you with administrative access, just to quickly show you, under Manage Organization, this is Crowdhelix's, but all of that can be done here. Expertise tags, add them to your organizational profile. If you'd like to create a group, for example, the School of Computing Sciences, assign this to a PI. Maybe they have a website, maybe they have their own logo, and now they have a group they can administrate themselves. You also have an overview of all of the users on the platform. And finally, you also have an overview of every single post that has been ever been added by your organization, in case you would like to remove one for some reason. We do not delete posts because the more content on our platform, the more intelligent it becomes. That content feeds into the machine learning, and it makes it more likely for us to be able to find the right partners for you to work with. If you would like an overview of the Helix communities, you can find that here. Every single community has a page where you can learn more, for example, health. If you'd like to check out what's happening in the Health Helix community, this is the place. Some background, some scope. Why was this community created? What is happening in Horizon Europe? Who are the major players within the Health Helix that are very keen to collaborate? These organizations have decided to show their logo here on the front page because they want you to reach out with them. They want to be seen as leaders in the Health Helix community. With that being said, every Helix has its own leading organization at the top. In this case, it's KU Leuven in Belgium. This is because KU Leuven have a specific expertise in health. They said that they would like to lead the Health Helix, and this means a few different things. First, they essentially ensure engagement within the community. Maybe they're willing and able to coordinate proposals. Maybe once every year or two, they're going to host an event on their campus, maybe a brokerage event, something like that. These are typical things that a Helix leader would do. Helix leadership is open to any organization on the platform. It's usually a decision made maybe 6 months into their time as members. If they want to, there's no obligation to do it. But if you do not see a Helix on the platform, but you feel it should be there, we can have a discussion about potentially developing this Helix, and maybe your organization would like to take the lead. And quickly, one more community that is slightly different. This is the Circular Plastics Helix community. This is one of the communities that was launched as part of a project funded, in this case, under Horizon 2020. Crowdhelix was an impact acceleration partner in this proposal. So section 2.2, measures to accelerate impact. Again, some background, but here we have two key projects that have been funded in this area. The first project was called Multicycle, funded under Horizon 2020. This community has done its job very well. It has bred a second project called Preserve in the area of circular plastics. And this is what we want to see. We want to see our Helix communities with the relevant stakeholders mapped onto them, collaborating, communicating at the end of a project's lifespan, maybe disseminating the results of those projects and trying to get engagement from outside stakeholders, but at the same time, facilitating future partnerships in that project's area of interest, which is exactly what we're seeing here. We've bred a new project in the area of circular plastics, and now this community will continue on for even several years more after that second project's funding has run out. This is the idea of the Helix impact model. And it looks like the University of Bologna in Italy has quite prolifically been posting about their desire to collaborate in the area of cluster 6 and circular plastics, Eleonora. And actually, this is an excellent example of an individual user's profile on the platform. Eleonora, she's an R&D project manager. She has an extensive biography here, and these are her expertise tags feeding into the machine learning on the platform and making her more visible. So use Eleonora as an example. In terms of our member organizations, let's take a quick look. Who are also members of Crowdhelix? The breakdown of the network is like this: 176 universities and RTOs, research technology organizations. You can have an overview of who is a member here. The RTO membership base, like your institution, you are the major spine of Crowdhelix. Most of the posting and the engagement is kicked off and started by you. And if you'd like to see who is here, you can come take a look. We have a very nice spread of organizations from widening participation countries, from non-widening regions, from associated countries. Crowdhelix is a global network, and we're constantly looking to expand to continue our work and growth in enhancing open innovation. We have a pillar of corporate members, for example, IBM or GE, KPMG. We also work a lot with Coca-Cola, and I'll tell you how in a moment. 360 SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises, are welcome to Crowdhelix, but we're talking about quality over quantity. We could open this network up to 10,000 free SMEs and say, look at this massive network we have, but that's not the idea. Each small business is vetted before they join Crowdhelix, and they do pay a membership fee of about 900 euros per year. This is more of a gatekeeping tool to ensure that only companies with sort of excellence and the ambition and the ability to deliver on projects are coming onto this platform, rather than everyone under the sun who is interested in somehow participating in European funding. Associates are organizations that don't really fit under the guise of academia or industry, maybe city governments or NGOs, organizations like that. And we do keep a small pillar of organizations called specialists, maybe consultants, who provide services like proposal writing or IP management. Crowdhelix can also provide some of these services like proposal support and development, proposal writing, but it's outside of the scope of the typical membership. You may be wondering about events. We've just had 3 events over the course of January, so others are currently in development now. We have 3 different types of events, essentially. The first is the RTO corporate members event. This happened just a couple of weeks ago at the University of Greenwich. This is our annual flagship event, typically for people like vice rectors or heads of departments, heads of research offices. This is more of a traditional networking event to foster collaborative partnerships at a higher institutional level. We host brokerage events that are focused on specific calls as well, periodically throughout the year, maybe 4 or 5 months before a deadline. And then you can see these 2 events here, which just happened this past week. This event focused on virtual reality, and this one focused on haptics. These events were stemming from 2 funded projects and their corresponding Helix communities. They were about disseminating and communicating what's happening in the projects, maybe the results, bringing together stakeholders to showcase the projects. Those are the 3 types of events we typically hold. And then once a month, we have an open webinar that is similar to this session I'm presenting to you now. The open webinar is a chance for anybody who would like to drop in and receive a training on the Crowdhelix platform and ask a question. It happens usually on the 3rd Tuesday of the month at 10 a.m. GMT or 11 a.m. Central European Time. So if you have a colleague who you feel could benefit from having a presentation like this, feel free to flag these upcoming sessions to them, the next being on the 21st of February. And then finally, before I open the floor to questions, you might be wondering how we quantify success. And this is where we want to showcase your institution at the end of the year. Quantifying success can be difficult. We cannot say that there is a certain percentage of posts that directly lead to a funded project. Crowdhelix is a connector. We are usually filling in a puzzle piece of a consortium, finding maybe 1 or 2 more organizations. Unless we build a consortium completely from scratch with Crowdhelix members only around a coordinator, then maybe we could claim that this was funded because of us, but that's not really how it works. That's not ethical. The way we quantify success is 1, the overall track record of Crowdhelix members. Funding 1 in Horizon programs is just over 7.4 billion. Not every cent of this is attributed to a post on Crowdhelix. It just shows the quality of the Crowdhelix network and the type of success the members have had and the organizations that you can work with. The real way that we quantify success is through reaching out to organizations, to PIs after deadlines, after results come out, and asking them for a case study. And we try to include a couple of these every single month. In this case, you can see one from a university in Ireland, from an SME, from CPI, which is a catapult-linked organization in the United Kingdom. Rescol is an SME. The University of Coimbra is from a widening participation country. And here we also have a multinational, Coca-Cola Euro-Pacific Partners. One way that we work with large companies like Coca-Cola, it's not always horizon focused. Sometimes it's more about addressing their in-house innovation challenges. So a large company might come to us. They might lay out 3 or 4 specific in-house challenges that they have, and they will leverage the academic expertise of the Crowdhelix network to pitch solutions to them. How can we solve these in-house problems? And then they as the large company. They act as the funder rather than the European Commission. And we've successfully done this in the past year with Coke. We're looking to duplicate this with them at least a couple more times over the coming year or so. So stay on the lookout for opportunities like that coming through the Crowdhelix platform. But that is quantifying success. And one reason I'm showing this page is because I want you at the organizational level and the researchers to stay in touch with us, stay in touch with me, flag to me specific calls that you would like to pursue. Let's lay out those KPIs so we can ensure that your organization is being involved in proposals, winning funding. We want to add you here at the end of the year, at least once. So this is the success page. If after this call, I'm about to open the floor to questions, but if you do not want to ask a question now or you can't think of one, please get in touch here at contact. We will get back to you the very same day, answer your questions. If you'd like to arrange a call, we can do that. That's perfectly acceptable. We can discuss your ambitions, types of connections that you'd like to make. But before you do that, my advice always, the first thing that you should do is add a post to the platform. That is the best first way we can kick off the type of collaboration that you're seeking. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Sorry if I've overrun a little bit, but looking forward to hearing your questions if you have any. So thank you.
Thank you very much, guys, for this excellent and very interesting presentation. It seems that Crowdhelix will become a very useful tool for our researchers. Until Kais catches his breath, let me stress out some important points. First of all, this platform is open. We can subscribe even today, and correct me if I'm wrong. Secondly, the tags are extremely important to be more visible in your post. Also, the philosophy of posting shares some common ground with social media, if I'm not mistaken, regarding the engagement. Is that right?
Yes, so the 3 points you mentioned, this platform is already open to all of you. Sign into the platform like I just showed on the register page. You can find your organization in the drop-down menu. It's here. If you haven't signed in yet, create a password. We send you a confirmation link, and then you are good to go to set up your profile.
And it sounded like the more you engage and spend time with the platform, the easier it gets to find some cooperation.
Absolutely. So please do not be afraid of adding these expertise tags to your profile. It's what makes you more visible, and it's what puts your expertise as a researcher into the machine learning, so that the platform will recommend you as, the best possible partner for us to flag to someone else who is posting on the platform. It also makes you more searchable if someone is searching for a specific expertise. So add those here under profile settings, come to this page, keywords. If your expertise is in conducting clinical trials, or if it's in robotic arms, I'm just making examples, but add those tags here to be more searchable. And in terms of posting, when I mentioned social media, this is not a social media platform like Facebook. This is about building collaborative partnerships between academia and industry. And this is just to say why we moderate every single post for quality control before it goes live. And if we need to find extra information from you, maybe, for example, you forgot to add a specific call that you're looking to target, we'll just come back to you, we'll email you and ask you, and then we will edit the post for you. With that being said, obviously, a lot of these calls, they don't open until a specific date. So maybe you're trying to get ahead of the game. Maybe you viewed the draft work program, but the call isn't open yet. And that's perfectly fine. Simply add the call identifier code into the text of the post, and it will still be searchable, and it will still feed into the machine learning. So hopefully that answered the 3 questions you had.
Thank you very much. So if you would like, we can have some questions from our guests, if someone... You can either put it in the chat or even speak up.
Shall I ask something? Thank you very much for the detailed presentation. It was really, really interesting. And I think that we will go into the game sooner or later. I would like to ask you if there is something that you would like to share with us as a common problem, something that we have to avoid, or something that needs to share with us, something that most people are doing wrong and we should avoid doing it?
That's actually a really good question, and thank you for asking it. So one common problem is that sometimes people will sign in, they'll make their profile, and then they set it and then they leave it. This is not a platform where you can just set it and leave it. Maybe an opportunity will just kind of luckily land in your lap, but it is about engagement. The more you put into this, the more that you will get out of it. So you do need to post, you do need to leave comments or send people direct private messages. Do not be afraid at the same time to share opportunities with those who feel might do well to see them. So engagement is key. Yes, you can set your expertise tags, build your profile, wait for an opportunity to come to you. You've subscribed, but be proactive. The other thing that I would avoid, and we can absolutely help you with this, is helping you to add more users to the platform. The platform doesn't work without users and user engagement. Things that we can do for you is send you some social media content, maybe send you a press packet, things you can disseminate internally in newsletters and through your communication channels to kind of get the word out to researchers that they can sign up for this platform and use it. We all know that people conducting research, they want to put their head down and they want to get to work. They don't necessarily want to fill out another profile on a platform, and we understand that. But hopefully we've provided a very intuitive, user-friendly way with really nice, relevant opportunities to engage with right now to make it easier for you to build a robust and diverse consortium that has an excellent chance to go on to be funded. So I would avoid complacency. I've just answered this question in a very long way, but that's the main way.
Thank you. And this is very useful with the dissemination material. I think that our researchers haven't yet realized what's the opportunity behind Crowdhelix. And I think that we need this. We need to disseminate, to show them how useful can be for them, because there are many times that want to build a consortium and they are coming to us and they are asking, how can I find partner with an expertise in robotics, let's say. And frankly, we didn't have the tool, we didn't have the channel till now. So I think that dissemination material would be great for us to make our researchers engage with the platform. One more question for me is there a time limitation when I want to post something as a researcher? If, let's say, funding opportunities deadline is next week or next 2 weeks, I don't know. Can I post?
So there's no rule about posting the day before a deadline. Obviously, it's better to get a little bit ahead of the game, but I've seen a consortium. I've seen consortia who at the last minute realized they needed some type of expertise. They've posted on the platform. They've said to us, look, this is really, really urgent. Can you help us? And we've been able to connect them to a partner. So no, there's no real reason. Once a deadline has passed, for example, this one is the 13th of April. Once that passes, it will say directly on the post, this deadline is out of date. But that's one of the reasons also that we don't typically remove posts. So maybe if we can go back in time a little bit. Here we are going back in time to before these calls opened. That's why there's no, for example, there's no banner here showing the deadline, because this was the draft work program. This is somebody getting way ahead of the game. If the deadline has closed, the other side of this, then there will be a message at the top here saying this is closed. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't reach out to, for example, Chiara at LBG about collaborating in the future. You can see the types of calls she's interested in, for example, mission cancer. And you could say, look, I saw that you posted about a mission cancer call way back in December. There are future deadlines for this coming up in September. Let's start a conversation. So just because a post is out of date doesn't mean that it's not worth getting in touch and discussing collaboration. But again, a long-winded way of answering your question. No, there's no rule about posting the day before a deadline.
Thank you. Thank you for that. One last thing from me. About the tags and the institution, the university, because of the fact that we are a university with wide range of expertise, we were a bit worried what to put in these tags, because we have really expertise in everything. What would you recommend for that?
Yeah, that's a very good problem to have, I think. One thing that you could do is maybe align the tags with the major centers or departments of the university. So if you have a department that focuses specifically on like dementia or cancer or something like that, or maybe you have another department that focuses a lot on augmented or virtual reality, these are examples of tags that you could put. I would put as many as you feel are relevant, but an easy answer to your question is maybe just align them with the faculties and departments of the institution.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if there is anyone else that would like to add something.
So
thank you for the presentation and for everything. I think we will be in touch in the next time.
Okay, sure. Yeah, please. Reach out to contact here if you would like to. That's one way you can get back to me. Feel free to attend the upcoming open webinars, and also here in the chat is my email address. So there's my email in the chat. Feel free to reach out to me as well if you'd like to arrange a call, or if you'd like to flag some specific calls for tender that you would like to look at. But just keep in mind, the first thing I'm always going to suggest is post on the platform. That way we can really help you. Okay. Thank you very much, all of you, for your time and your attention, and for the really kind introduction. Looking forward to working with you and playing a role in your success this year.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jürgens. And thank you all for being here with us today.
Okay. Take care. Have a lovely rest of your week and
thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.